This is the Voir podcast. In this episode, the 12 undeniable truths about humanity. And now your host, attorney Scott Reich.
Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Voir. Voir is brought to you by scottreich.com, and we are broadcasting here from our studio in Denver, Colorado. For those of you that are new to voir dire is a French term that means to speak the truth. Additionally, it is used in the jury selection process, whereby the opportunity for the attorneys to question the jurors to see if they will be fair and impartial and to provide the truth. And throughout this podcast, we are going to have guests, and we anticipate asking them the tough and difficult questions to seek the truth, so to speak. So we'll be doing that. And a little bit about me is my name is Scott Reich. I have a law practice here in Denver, Colorado. It's called thereichlawfirm.com, Reich Law Firm, R-E-I-S-C-H lawfirm.com, or you can go to scottreich.com, or you can also follow us on Voir, VOIRDIRE.com as well. And today what I'd like to talk to you about is something that all my friends and people that know me sometimes affectionately refer to them as Reichisms. As a trial attorney, I have come to the conclusion that if you cannot tell a jury what your case is about in one sentence or less, you probably haven't figured it out. Well, sometimes life is that simple. Oftentimes life is made more difficult by people who, well, frankly, I think love the drama. But over the years, I've kind of tried to refine what I would call the Scott Reich's or the criminal defense attorney's undeniable truths about humanity. All right? And this has come from 23 years of trial practice of doing serious felony cases. This is doing cases where people have potentially been charged with the death penalty. I've done numerous homicide cases over the years. I've been fortunate enough in my career to have some 6 homicide cases where it's been not guilty, walked the client out of jail completely, or had the case dismissed prior to trial when they're charged with first-degree murder. I've had 6 of those, and so that's actually very rare. There are some criminal defense attorneys that never get a not guilty verdict on a first-degree murder case. Many attorneys simply won't take those type of cases just because they're too stressful and they don't think that it's worth the headache, so to speak. Well, I take them. I enjoy them. So I've talked to a lot of juries. I've liked to think that I need to be able to refine my case down to literally one sentence or less. And so the first undeniable truth about humanity that I've come to pontificate about or come to the conclusion about is first, be humble. Okay? There are 2 types of people in this world. The first are those that are humble, and the second, those that are about to be. Okay? There are 2 types of people in the world, those that are humble and those that are about to be. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. There have been times in everyone's life whereby they thought they were pretty darn good. They thought they were a little too big for their britches. And it's very common, at least in my business, where I have literally gone from one day, I am the greatest thing since sliced bread, and I've walked a client on a homicide and big habitual type charges. And then I go for a routine court appearance on a new client the following day, and the bond reduction is denied. And I get told, what kind of attorney are you? You couldn't even get my bond reduced. So it happens. It happens to everybody. Think about it in your real life, whether it's been you, someone you know, that brother-in-law, that sister-in-law that is just super cocky, and then something happens to them. Think about it in politics. I mean, first thing comes to mind is Hillary Clinton. There was a woman who was literally measuring the drapes for the Oval Office and lost, okay? And she's still having a tough time being humble, saying that, hey, maybe it was just me. Think about it. Tiger Woods. The man was unstoppable on the golf course. And then he was humbled by the fact that it came out that he was having an extramarital affair and went into sex therapy treatment. And for lack of a better term, really hasn't done much since. And so he too has been humbled. Think about the Elliot Spitzers of the world. Mr. Spitzer was out there as the Attorney General of New York, going around prosecuting people, holding everybody to a higher standard because he knew better and he knew what needed to be done. And what it turned out to be, he was having his own little escapades on the side. He's been humbled. Think about even more recently, Harvey Weinstein, movie producer. People referring to him as God at the Academy Awards. And now the man's charged with multiple counts of sexual assault and or rape in New York. So he's gone from literally being, what referred to as the God, thinking that he can get away or do just about anything and that nothing he could do was wrong. And guess what? I think he'd like to have that back today. So that is the undeniable truth about humanity. Number one, be humble, or life will do it to you. All right. Number two, no one is perfect. Okay. No one is perfect. Know your weaknesses. Seek self-improvement. Everybody has something that they are not good at. Okay. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It just means that maybe you're just not good at it. So focus on your strengths. Do what you're good at. Hire people to do what you're not good at. Okay. But you have to have a little self-reflection. And this kind of goes back to being humble. You have to know what you are good at and what you're not good at so that you can focus on that. But you have to be truthful with yourself, okay? You may want to be a supermodel, but if you weigh 300 pounds, you're not going to be a supermodel. You may be a plus model, but you have to be realistic. So you have to do a little self-reflection and think, is this what I can do? And this goes back to being humble, okay? Because no one is perfect. And everyone has self-doubt. And usually the people that are the loudest and the ones that are out there really, braggadocious about what they do and what they've done are usually the most insecure, okay? A little self-deprecation is never a bad thing, all right? Just like when you win a big case and everyone says you're the greatest thing, say, hey, every now and then, even a blind squirrel can find a nut. It's going back to being humble because no one's perfect. And although everything went right on that one particular day, it may go completely wrong tomorrow, okay? Number 3, the third undeniable truth about humanity. We are all flawed human beings, okay? We are all flawed. So do not be too judgmental. We are all hypocrites. It is just a matter of degree, okay? We all know everybody that's, what is it? Your parents do as I say, not as I do. Don't drink, don't smoke, don't do this. They knew it better, but they knew they'd be hypocritical if they told you not to do it. We are all hypocrites, okay? It's just a matter of degree. We are all flawed, and nobody, I assure you, wants to be judged as a person at their worst moment, okay? Everyone has made mistakes. Everyone has done something whereby they wish they could take it back and they have regrets, okay? It doesn't mean that is going to define them. It simply means that they've had some really bad things along the way. But remember, everybody has that story. Everybody has a story of where they've come from, all right? So try to understand that. And, it's always the people that are the most critical of individuals are usually the ones that are the biggest hypocrites of all. I remember here in Denver, we had a case. There was a preacher down in Colorado Springs, and he was just adamant that homosexuality was bad. It was terrible. And guess what? It turned out he had a gay lover that he was driving up to Denver to get his massages for. Think about it. All the people that you know that were the church people that told everybody how to run their lives, but they were running around doing things that they told everybody they shouldn't do. It happens, ladies and gentlemen. People have secret lives. I've been doing criminal defense for 23, going on 24 years. I assure you, there are many people out there that have what perceived to be a perfect life, and they're doing everything right. In reality, they're literally living a double life out there. So just remember, everyone is flawed, and everyone shouldn't be so judgmental of everybody. The fourth undeniable truth about humanity is it's always about the money. Okay? When somebody says it's not about the money, then we all know it's really about the money. That's it. Bottom line, it's always about the money. If somebody says they're doing this, they're donating money for a particular cause, it's about the money. They want the recognition. If they say, I'm suing somebody, but it's not about the money, it's about the principle, it's about the money. If they say that they're leaving, but it's not about the money, it's about the money. Okay? When somebody tells you in my particular business that money's not an object and there's more where this came from, what that really means is that there is no more money. That's all there is. And ladies and gentlemen, it is about the money. Nobody works for free. Okay? Unless you're retired, unless you're doing community service, you are doing your job for money. Nobody expects to not be paid. Okay? So remember that. It's always about the money. Number 5, the fifth undeniable truth about humanity is you need to take care of yourself. If you do not take care of yourself, how do you expect others to be able to help you and care for you down the road? How are you expected to care for others if you can't take care of yourself? You need to take care of yourself mentally and physically. Does that mean you have to go out there and run a marathon? No. Does that mean that you have to eat nothing but salads all day long? No. But take care of yourself. You know you shouldn't eat the triple dip fried food. It's bad for you. Now, can you splurge? Absolutely. But take care of yourself, okay? Mentally, you need to take care of yourself. In my line of work, most of the people that I deal with have some sort of diagnosed or undiagnosed mental health issue, okay? Understand, people get the blues, they get down. But some people have extreme changes in their mental well-being. They need to have that checked out, okay? Like I said, large percentage of my practice, either my client or somebody related to them has mental health issues and has wound up getting them in some sort of trouble. And oftentimes it involves self-medication, drugs and alcohol. Okay, these people, they don't like to take the medication if it's been diagnosed with something. They feel better without the medication, so they stop taking it. In reality, the reason they feel better is because they're taking the medication. It's working, so don't stop. When they stop, what do? They start going back to self-medicating through drugs and alcohol. Don't do that, okay? Listen to your doctor. Take care of yourself. 6, the sixth undeniable truth about humanity is that most people have troubles. Most people don't have troubles. They have inconveniences, okay? And think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Unless you are going to jail, unless you are dying, unless you have a small child in the hospital, most of the things that go on in the world are inconveniences. Having too much to do, double setting schedules, traffic jams, spouse not helping you out. Those are all inconveniences. They are not big troubles. And so I think a lot of people need to keep that in mind, because doing what I do, I have dealt with people that are literally going to spend the rest of their lives in prison, or the government wants to kill them. That is trouble, okay? The family that gets stuck behind dealing with all that's some trouble, okay? But most people have inconveniences, and most people need to realize how grateful they are in the world. Number 7, the seventh most undeniable truth about humanity is make a decision, okay? If you don't make decisions, people will make them for you, bottom line. And not making a decision is kind of a decision, but not really. That's sort of just simply maintaining that status quo that usually got you in the spot where you are right now. So make a decision, all right? Number 8, a job expands to the amount of time given. I love deadlines. I love being able to give deadlines to clients. This is the date where you need to make a decision. This is the date where you decide what we are going to do about your case, okay? Because a job expands to the amount of time given. Deadlines mean things, all right? Delaying decisions is not a decision. That is simply not making a decision, all right? And just remember this, particularly you kids out there, all you high school, college kids, adults, professionals, it always takes longer than you think it will. Remember that. Number 9, the 9th undeniable truth about humanity from a criminal defense lawyer's perspective is you would be surprised how powerful the words, "I am sorry," can go. Okay? I have literally seen victims, family members of victims in a courtroom that have been brought to absolute forgiveness and feel sorry for a defendant in a particular case based upon the words, "I am sorry." Okay? You would be surprised how far those words can go to really making a difference in somebody's day and life, and most importantly, mean it. But you'd be surprised. I've seen people's attitudes completely change where all they wanted was an apology, and so that they can move on and they can have closure. Along those that same line of words is two other words that can really make a difference. Please and thank you. I once worked with an attorney. He was a jerk. He was not very nice generally overall. He was mean. He would belittle people, not necessarily in front of them. But when he needed something done, he would always go and say, please and thank you. And his staff loved him. And I asked him one day, this guy's kind of a jerk. Why do you guys love him so much? And what did he say? He always says, please and thank you. So remember that. It can't hurt. Number 10, trust your lawyer, okay? I know people don't like lawyers, but most of the attorneys, if not all of the attorneys I know, take their jobs very seriously, okay? And none of the attorneys out there want to give bad legal advice. I assure you of that. They are trying to provide the best advice that they can with the information that they have. And I never understand why, when I have clients that come and pay me lots of money, and my advice is you need to go do A, and then they go do B. And for some reason, they think that the lawyer is not giving them bad advice. It wasn't really until I think my children got to high school, and I told them, I said, listen, you are my child. I love you more than anything. I want to make your life easier than I've had to do it. I want you to learn from mistakes. Yes, I understand that. But think about it. I am your parent. Do you really think that I would give you bad advice? No. Well, neither is your attorney. Your attorney is not going to intentionally give you bad advice. That advice may change based upon new facts and new information that comes in, but they are going to do that. So trust your lawyer. They really want to do the best job for you. Number 11, if it's important to you, you'll find a way to make it happen. If not, you will find an excuse, okay? In my career, I've had lots of clients say that they need to stop doing drugs. They need to comply with probation. They need to stop using alcohol because it's the root of all of their troubles. And guess what? I understand addictions can be extremely, extremely difficult, but it is also a decision that needs to be made. And it's like anything, whether you're going to be nice to your spouse, whether you're going to leave the office early to be at home at the dinner table. If it's important to you, you will find a way to make it happen, okay? If not, you're going to come up with an excuse. And number 12, the 12th most undeniable truth from the criminal defense attorney's perspective is all relationships are based upon respect. Okay? I have dealt with some very difficult clients. I have taken and still continue to take court-appointed cases. And a lot of those cases are when people simply cannot get along with their attorneys in any way. And usually what it comes down to is respect. Sometimes the client simply doesn't have respect for, let's say, a female attorney, which it makes no sense. They're great attorneys. Sometimes the client feels as though they've been disrespected. Okay? So I can go in, and I've had experiences where I have gone in where the person hates everybody. They hate the court system. They hate their family. They hate their previous attorney. They hate everybody in the world. And go in there and simply treat them with respect. Be honest with them. Tell them the good, the bad, and the ugly so that they can make the best decision. Don't treat them like a child. Treat them with respect. It will go a long way, ladies and gentlemen. And think about it. If you've had relationships that have fallen apart, whether it's marriage, business, what have you, what is the main reason for that? Probably lost respect for them. You lost respect for them. All right? So although I'm divorced now, I see myself getting remarried someday. And the wedding vows are going to be simple. Instead of love, honor, and obey, it's going to be love, honor, and respect. Because as long as you have respect for each party and you respect each individual and you get up saying, I'm going to make the day a better day for you, for the other party, it will last. It will work. And once you lose that respect, it'll be gone. So that is today's podcast. You can listen to this, download this at iTunes. You can go to voirdeer.com and download it later as well. We'll have it on our Facebook page of Voir Deer. We're also taping this, so it will be on YouTube, and you can go to scottreich.com, and we'll also have links on that to other pages on the YouTube page where you can do this. And if you like this, and if you like what we're going to be doing, follow, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know what you think so that we can do it. That little subscribe down there at the bottom, hit that on YouTube. Leave a comment. We'd love to know. We're going to have lots of topics. If you have somebody you'd like us to interview, if you have a topic you would like us to discuss, we're going to do that. We're going to have guests, not only from my law practice here, but other attorneys, both from Denver and around the country, to provide their opinion on issues. So I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Voir Deer, and hope to have you back soon. We're going to try to do these just about every day. So hopefully, please follow, please subscribe, please download. Go to iTunes and download the podcast, Voir Deer. Have a great day.